Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Sunless Sea with me, BrainBoy 20, where we last left off. We had almost finished up everything we could possibly do in the port of London. And then we had a child. So our new arrival, you, your sweetheart, and your child. What will your child call you? Nothing at all. You don't want to raise the child, or you can't afford to. Turn away. Let your sweetheart raise the brat, if they can. And every other option is blocked off right now, until we have unlocked from the memoirs. Quality of lodgings is an elegant townhouse or a seaside mansion. Or we can select the option improve your lodgings first. You can't raise a child in a room above a pub. Well, people do, but your sweetheart expects better. So, we'll do this first. This'll put it off for a time. Your lodgings. Here you may catch up with your correspondence, rest or retire altogether from seafaring life. The better your lodgings, the better the quality of your retirement. Naturally. Nothing else to do. So let's set out. Our current objectives, for those who weren't paying attention last time, is that we have a favor from the Cheery Man to perform. We have to visit Mount Palmerston in the northeast, which we didn't find, but that was the objective of last time's journey, and we couldn't find it. So that's going to pose a bit of an issue. We also have to go to the Avid Horizon, which is also in the northeast. And we also can bring wine to Vendabite. Now, we do have a low amount of supplies, but hopefully the journey on the way there will rectify this. So without further ado, let's launch once more. Actually, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to turn down the music volume relatively quickly. Just a little bit more, just because it seemed a bit loud to me when I was doing the introductory segment. So first things first, we're going to stop off at Hunter's Keep to acquire as many supplies as we can. Mount Palmerston, we don't know its location. It should be somewhere to the west of the Sea Lion, or the Salt Lions, somewhere to the east of Vendabite. Hopefully in between them, but you never know. Now I know I lost Salt's attention, I think. And I'm going to have to wait until it says a, not mysterious affair, I don't remember what it's called anymore. Times have changed, yes. We have to wait till times have changed and something awaits us in port. Come on. Come on. Alright. We'll stay here, we'll kill the lights, and we'll wait. There we go. I think it was Lucy that had Salt's attention. No, we have Stones' attention, but we gained some supplies. Well, we'll just use news here. It was Phobe, wasn't it? No, Storms' attention. I was wrong on both accounts. I did gain 2 supplies, though, so that should account for something, but we'll launch back off to Vendabite. I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this, but I can't go get an extraordinary implication. Unfortunate. We're gonna launch a Z-Bat. Hopefully we'll get lucky and they'll... Oops, slow down. Full reverse. Ah, they got the first shot off. They got the first shot off and our hull now is 1 level of damage. That means absolutely nothing. Let's loot the freaking vessel. Some sort of barrel. We already know what this is. A firkin of honey. No, it's a cask of mushroom wine. Some sort of barrel. Tap the bung carefully. In the flaring light, it's a cask of wine. In the flaring light, it's a sea dark, but the taste is the darkness of autumn. Mushroom wine. An acquired taste, perhaps, but once you've acquired it, who'd go back to grapes? Nasty little bubbles of goo. Grapes. There we got free mushroom wine. If I would have known about that, I wouldn't have bothered tossing the wine, buying all that wine in the first place. Oh well. And I went too far to the west. I'm gonna send off the Z-Bat again. Maybe he'll locate something. Even though we're right next to Vendibite, he shouldn't be able to do that. That was correct. We're not yet at the point where I'd feel comfortable just doing time skips between ports. Then again, part of the story here is the journey we take to each location, so maybe I won't cut out the time in between this. And let us provide what we have promised. The tomb colonists of Vendibite have few pleasures remaining. Their new home is an echoing place of rare dust. Perhaps you can help. Provide wine. Your former passenger waits on dock. They've brought friends. Thirsty friends. Provide wine and join the celebration. Your former passenger and their friends would be delighted if you'd raise a glass with them. I think we'll raise a glass with them. It's what my character would do, considering he's been a poet for so long and maybe misses some of the finer points of partying with civilized people. A hiatus. You're somewhere dark. Something happened. There are moths. What are all these things? What are all these things? You now have 1 devil bone dice. You've gained a tale of terror, lost 10 casks of mushroom wine. We've lost a crew. Not gonna question that. You have 1 soothe and copper long box, meaning we can visit Station 3 again if you remember that. We gained 5 terror. Brought wine to Vendibite and drank it with the passenger. We gained an outlandish artifact and 2 lamentable relics. And now that we're here, let's visit a certain little restaurant. Fine cuisine in Vendibite? Now that would be something. A corkscrewed street. At the twisty tip of an odd little side street, welcoming yellow light glows from the gilt-lettered windows of a restaurant. A sign reads, "Vengeance of Jonah." A beefy tomb colonist bustles up. A grey moustache pokes impertinently out from under his bandages. Come in, come in. You've lost 1 tale of terror. 1 tale of terror. That'd be terrible, actually. You've lost 1 terror. You found the vengeance of Jonah. A bandage poisonaire at Vendibite seeks passage with the Z-Captain sympathetic to intrepid cuisine. We could recruit him if I had 300 echoes. Bandage poisonaire has long wished to travel, but you'll need to outfit the galley to his exacting standards. Offer a strange catch. The vengeance of Jonah is liberal in its approach to edibility. Pay a small fee and return some of the material to you as supplies. And we could sample today's special. The food here is exceptional. You need not fear poisoning or boredom. Definitely not boredom. This is usually a more effective way of reducing terror than purchasing a dusty glass of wine, and will also reduce hunger. How much is it? 60 echoes. I'm afraid that's a bit out of my budget. Then we shall gather gossip. Because we've already read this before, I'll just leave this up for a second so you can read it or pause to read it. But we have a port report on Vendibite, and let's explore. Here they favor candlelight over gaslight. Oh, we did read this. A serpent image. Here, a Zayla shouts. There's something nestled in the mossy crook of the grey-leafed tree. A wooden serpent, lacquered black, red, and yellow. Its eyes are garnet flakes. That'd fetch a good price at the bazaar, the Zayla observes, but it has a cursy look. Points out another. Leave it. Perhaps it's cursed, perhaps it's not, but your crew gets superstitious at the drop of a bat. Take it anyway. Perhaps you can think of some way to allay their fears. A straightforward challenge. With my pages. Take it, but reward the sailor. Half share, fair's fair. If she hadn't seen it, you'd have missed it entirely. 30%, but we'd have to spend 50 echoes. The genial magician has use of it. I say, he remarks, this is just what I need. Mind if I hang on to it? Unfortunate we don't have the genial magician. Well, we might as well become a bad luck magnet. Let's take it anyway. I don't believe in your bloody curses. You recognize it. It's an image of a Finger King, a serpent thing that crawls beneath the skin of mirrors. They might be real, and they might be not. But why take chances? You order the confiscation of all mirrors until the journey's end, and explain that'll keep the ship safe. There is some grumbling from the sailors, who like to trim their beards, but the measure reassures most of them. You've gained 1 outlandish artifact, the total of 2. You now have 1 memoirs, Finger King's Footsteps, and we've gained 2 terror. And that is all we can do in Vendabite. Let us head north, and continue our search, or more specifically, let us head northeasternly. We need to find Mount Palmerston anyway. And who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and encounter some Z-Bats to sate our hunger. Fortunately, fuel goes down much faster than supplies, so fuel might still be the limiting factor of how long we could stay out here. I'll send out the Z-Bat. Maybe we'll find Mount Palmerston and can be on our way back. No islands within range. For those wondering, we are supposed to stop when we use it, but that's just for direction. If the Z-Bat can't sense the island at this point, then it will never sense the island in the first place. I'm gonna move my lamp a little bit over because I can't see it. Ooh, Frostfound. Alright. I guess I'll head north to Frostfound. Deathhooli's Rage. Let's stay away from there. That is a whirlpool, alright. And I'd rather not get trapped in it. In fact, that might just outright kill me. Frostfound. Vast and chilly. A fortress sieged by questions, answers, and riddles. Discovered Studdard's Haven. I have never visited this place before. Let's see what it has. Frostfound. Towers and ramps, and galleries and stairs of ice, raised and spun like an architect's honey dream. No spider ever wove so complex a web. The towers are utterly pristine, untouched by human life, but a pitiable encampment squats by the dock. Engage an officer, the tireless mechanic. The tireless mechanic has had enough of Frostfound. He smiles at you over his spectacles, teeth chattering. Pfft, so glad to see a ship at last. Ready to offer my services. I'm an engineer, finest you'll ever hire. Treat engines like my own children. Not that I have children. Too busy. Usually busy. How much do you cost? 20 echoes. I might just hire you. Take tea with the squatters at the dock. Some of them wear the robes of Iremi riddle fishers. Some look like withered folk, but even more ragged, but they seem a little more practical than either of those people. I think I might need to reread that because that made no sense whatsoever. Some of them wear the robes of Iremi riddle fishers. Some look like the withering folk, but even more ragged. But they do seem a little more practical than either of those people. Ask about the squatters about the castle. You notice they avoid looking at it directly. Enter Frostfound. A long flight of stairs rises glittering to a sheer tower. There is no door. Your reflection hangs in the cloudy ice. You cannot enter Frostfound if your terror is greater than 20, and should not enter Frostfound without a good reason. Oh, I forgot. The Sly Navigator. He actually has an objective here. Allow the Sly Navigator to examine the tower. Well, we might as well speak with him. What does he want? What does he seek at Z? Z is enough, but now you mention it, I've always had a desire to see Frostbound, the place where the Z rises to become a castle, the place where questions and riddles do battle for truth. He sighs dreamily, but he is watching you carefully. Yes, Frostbound. I didn't show that off because I didn't think we'd actually encounter this, but I forgot about it. He climbs the steps, panting eagerly. This is the Z, you see? He calls back. The Z risen to become land. Ice, the soul of the Z. In ice, we find the Z at her most exemplary. And he's off again. We leave him to examine the tower, staring up at the battlements, his breath dragon huffing. Where is he? Only a few minutes later, you glance back, and the navigator is gone. You climb the steps to examine the spot where you last saw him. His coat lies in the snow, his footprints end at the tower wall. You poke through his coat and find a brass telescope from the carnate, a much anointed chart, tobacco, an alarming quantity of light, but the navigator is gone. You never see him again. May this song be dedicated to the navigator, who has perished at Z. We've lost our sly navigator. We now have a revelatory chart and another outlandish artifact. We might as well create a port report. What are the squatters up to? Bickering amiably. Not all are a Remy or Witherin. There's the odd researcher, the occasional deranged ice sculptor, and now and then very sad rubbery men. But for the most part, an atmosphere of friendly rivalry reigns. Do we have a mechanic? No. We might as well hire him. I don't see why not. Welcome aboard. Spot of rust, soon see to that. You there, help me with this spot of rust. And we'll appoint the new officer. 8 veils and fuel efficiency of 50%. We should never have fuel issues from this point forward. And our veils, very high quality. And then let us... Ooh. We're going to take tea with the squatters at the dock. Some of them wear the hood robes of Iremi riddle fishers. Some look like Witherin folk, yada yada yada. I've read this twice already. A surprisingly warm welcome. We're keeping the steps for the game of truths. A helpful riddle fisher explains as she fills your cup for a 3rd time. Every year the people of Irem and Wither meet here for, she pauses, contests. She finishes vaguely, the difference between a question and a riddle. One day, someone will prove themselves enough to enter the castle. You spend a pleasant few hours, while the tea is supplemented with Iremi liquors, pale Witherin beer, and something the riddle fisher describes blandly as snake cake. They offer you fuel and supplies before you leave. We keep enough to spare, the riddle fisher's grins. From time to time a captain gets lost and comes up here, and we always feel bad for them. We lost 10 terror, gained a fuel, and gained some supplies. Well, thank you, darling. And now there's nothing else to do but enter Frostbound, which we will not do. Alright, we're going to launch. We're not going to move Z-Bat right now. Bright is some distance northeast. We might as well explore. While we still have time, of course. Discovered Frostbound. Oh, okay, that's what you mean. If you see this weather effect that's starting to go on, it means that well, we have to encounter it first before I'll explain it. Also, why do I call it a weather effect? Shouldn't it be a particle effect? Teneb is some distance in the north. But is Irem around here is the real question. This isn't Mount Palmerston, though. Zebat, when you're far from land, click the Zebat icon. Wait, Teneb is some distance southeast. Is this Teneb? Yes, the game's trolling me. We're in the north, and we're just going to skirt this location in the hopes of finding the avid horizon. It's a long way southeast. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. Here's the particle effect that I was speaking of. We should encounter it in about 3, 2... what? It's really weird when it decides to... There we go. Snow sweeps down from the north. The engines labor against it. You are being watched. No, that's just flavor text. What am I doing? Unfortunately, this slows down my ship's speed by a large degree, and we should kill the lights, because that is a lifeberg. And I do not want to fight one of those things right now. Even if my terror is rising immensely, I can afford that for right now. Considering we keep losing terror like nobody's business. And if all ends poorly, I can just go straight back, use my one something awaits you in port to regain both my sanity, my fuel, and my supplies. And we discovered Bright. We should be out of this snowstorm at any moment now. And there are no islands within range. There we go, we're out of the snowstorm. I'm gonna go stop at Bright really quick. Or not Bright, but whatever that port was, I've already forgotten its name, just to pick up some more fuel and supplies before continuing our journey to try to find Mount Palmerston. Stoddard's Haven. I have to remember this place, it's a very nice place. We're just going to take tea. I would like to ask about the castle, but I kind of need the supplies to continue my exploration of the north. So maybe at some other point in time we'll bother checking out what the castle actually is, when my mirror's quality gets high enough. Close to the Salt Lions, but I don't need to care much for the Salt Lions. Especially because I don't have any of Zalt's attention. Although Station 3, it's a very good idea to head there. We're about to cross into a fog bank on our way to Station 3. Let's check for Mount Palmerston. It should be around here somewhere. No islands within range. We're in Shepherd's Wash once again. And now let us stop by Station 3 to drop off our cargo. Who knows, we might even stop by Polythereme. Well, here we are. Deliver a long box. The only way past the wall is an unimposing but sturdy-looking triple-locked gate, silvery metal. A sign beside it reads, Deliveries. The gate stands open. We could also do when something awaits you, search for signs of other visitors, but it's a tough challenge without mirror's quality. But it never hurts to know what you are up against. Make a delivery. There is cargo in the hold marked for the destination. A long, low, heavy box. It'll be fun getting it up the stairs, no doubt. Up a twisting staircase. There's a great deal of grumbling from the crew. The stairs are sharp-edged and wet, the box is heavy, and its contents inclined to shift. After a few slips and bad bruises to the shin, you resort to placing crew members along the stairs and handing the box up along. There's a warehouse at the top of the stairs, but it is not apparently your destination. Another sign points along the narrow path towards the building with the spire. Deliveries, it says, more aggressively this time. Someone in the spired building is singing. The song sets your teeth on edge. Send ahead to the building for extra hands. If they want the box delivered, they can do it themselves. Break into the warehouse and leave the box there. The sign says deliveries, but doesn't mean that deliveries are obliged to comply. Carry the box on to the building with the spire. Going the extra distance might mean you can charge more for your efforts. A very chancy challenge. I hope this doesn't overwrite it, but I would actually like to get my iron up. Wait, your mirrors... Mechanic... Okay, I can't get my iron up. Let's give it a whirl. A grudging reward. The path is slippery and lined with mushrooms. You and the crew have to stop 7 or 8 times to set down the boxes and blow on your hands. The closer you get, the less the building with the spire looks like a church. The walls are soot-blackened and made of brick. There are no windows, and only narrow vents up near the roof. From these, a low singing can be heard. A song so cheerful that your crew look at one another and frown. It is a song of someone keeping the monsters at bay. At last, you are close enough to bang on the door. An austere acolyte answers it. She is dressed in black from head to foot. Her gloves are thick leather, and her goggles are double glass. Leave the boxes at the door, she says to you, and then she turns back towards the building, singing her song. Something about candied kittens and flaming violets, and the coming of spring. Judging by the rhyme, she's inventing the words as she goes along. You stop her and explain that you expect your extra work to be rewarded. She makes a grudging gesture, but complies. You now have 5 Station 3, earning the acolyte's favor. You've gained 100 fragment, and you succeeded in an iron challenge. The austere acolyte directs the arrangement of the long box in the room under the stepple. There are many other boxes there already, stacked in rows, 3 or 4 times as many as you have brought. In another corner of the room is a pile of wood from previous boxes already emptied and dismantled. Singing to herself about a mountain upholstered in velvet, she takes a crowbar to the box. The corpse inside is permanently dead, in a way that the dead of London often are not. Not a drowning, not a tomb colonist, but not coming back either. It looks pale and ordinary, except for the slight distension of the skin over the breastbone. Gently the acolyte presses there and nods, singing about tulips embroidered with a yellow floss. She lifts the body onto a marble slab. Without pause in her lyrics, she prepares a scalpel. Your presence does not seem to bother her. We the watch? We've never heard of this practice before. Don't watch. We can wait by the door. Or we can watch with medical interest. Whatever she's about to do, it's sure to be anatomically informative. Might as well try with medical interest, why not? Metal in metal. The austere acolyte extracts, deftly, and with very little blood, a heart-sized sphere of silver-grey metal. Despite your keenest observation, you cannot work out how the sphere grew there, or for what it is for. With the giant nutcracker, she cracks the sphere, another sphere inside that, and another. Finally, in the center, she comes to something heavy, small, and black. She lifts it out with tongs and looks at it through her goggles. The song falters, but she manages to keep humming, though the words are lost. She puts the black and heavy thing into a jar marked with the word of the correspondence. She closes the jar and seals it with red wax. Finally, when the corpse is removed again and the marble slab wiped clean, she comes to pay you. "Thank you," she says. "Return another day. I may have something else for you." You gained 2 more favors, and lost the soothe and copper long box. Of course, we failed the challenge. And on occurrence, we're now trading in long boxes. Quality is now 3, and we've gained a secret. Inside the little gate, the inner port is open to you now, although it is clear that your welcome is conditional. We have to deliver a long box to the Acolyte to continue on with these journeys. Anyway, what time is it? Time for me to end this episode here. I hope you all enjoyed watching. This has been BrainBoy20 with Let's Play Sunless Sea, and after that rousing image of extracting a sphere of metal from a dead corpse's heart, we end the episode. And so I say, so long.